Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well and that your beginning of winter, as we're approaching the winter solstice, is nice and pleasant. And it's been a while since I've done an oracle, and it's taken a lot of strength to come back and start again. The last year, for me at least, 2019, has been quite the experience. So, not really easy to put words to a year that takes all the wind out of your sails and then still manages to astonish. So, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know that because of the work I do and the readings that I give, that many people were caught in the crosshairs. I know that a large portion of the year we were dealing with Saturn and Pluto both in retrograde for like an extended amount of time. And man, did they do a dance on people. It's always good to know your astrology. If you have a trustworthy astrologer, somebody that does their studies properly and pays attention to their planets, it's always good to know a fantastic astrologer, especially if you feel like you're going crazy, because sometimes it's an influence like the weather. It hits everybody at the same time. It can be incredibly intense and it will bring up every single thing. And when you realize it's happening kind of in a mass consciousness way, so it's not you by yourself or you with your friends or you at your job, it's you in your city, you in your town, you in your country, you on your planet, and everybody being pulled through it. I was describing it about a week ago. The energy that I've been encountering and also dealing with is like trying to pull the whole universe through the eye of a needle, that intense energy. So if you're going through it, if you've been feeling it, if it's been challenging, I salute you from the deepest part of my heart. I'm going to try my best to get back into rhythm and bring you guys regular oracles and maybe share some visions and experiences that I've witnessed along the way. I mean, just the journey alone of me being on the road and doing land and water and earth blessings has been something I've never really had a chance to sit still long enough to give you descriptions on the amazing and beautiful things I have seen and witnessed. So I have a lot of reason to, give back a lot of information, and so here I am. So let's talk about the oracle. Now, how it works, and so that you understand how it directly influences you, it's exactly the same as a weather report. When you know that it's going to be a really hot sunny day, you don't want to wear a parka and gloves because you're going to sweat your buns off out there in the world, and so that's not worth it, right? Knowing it's going to be a hot sunny day, little tank top, little flip-flops, you're good to go, right? Well, energy is the same. Energy actually performs the same. So if you know what kind of energy is coming in strong, what wants to be worked with, then you can gear up properly and meet it in the middle. And you actually experience in your own personal life, in your own personal direction, dreams, aspirations, a better flow. Because basically you're taking your ship on a course on the ocean of life, and you know what kind of weather you're going to hit, so you know exactly what kind of gear to handle, or whether you should be casting your ship out there at all. So it's always good to know. Again, 1, astrologers. 2, hey, I'll do my very best to give you regular oracles. Now, I'm going to talk about the most inspiring parts of this oracle first, because of the fact that there's great inspiration taking place. The first thing I want you to really put your hearts on is everyone out there, and I don't care who you are, I don't care who's watching this, I don't care what you identify as sexually for yourself, or if you're in a partnership, or if you don't even believe in partnership, or if you're bitter about partnership. You all have your own story around that. But everyone has a twin flame. Everyone, even the people who say they don't want an other half, or that maybe they've integrated their other half, still has a twin flame. The twin flame either exists within you already, and you are one with that, and you are your twin flame because your twin flame and you merged already, or your twin flame is in the world, or your twin flame is on another world, or and it goes on and on. So even if your twin flame, imagine, was 17 galaxies away from you, you still influence each other directly. Because you and the twin, you're doing work simultaneously at the same time, okay? And you complement each other. Now, the reason why people twin out The reason why they split out is it's like, think of it as a scavenger hunt. You're going to get more done if one of you goes looking for one object and the other goes looking for the other, and you're both learning at the same time. It's a unity consciousness vibration between twins. So it's not uncommon for twins to be far ranging, but when they get in really close, it's to connoiter on big things, to come together and make huge change, because it means that you and the twin have branched out and learned things very important, and then you come back together to make sure that you implement that energy in a cohesive, seamless way. And the consciousness loves that connection. The superconscious and the soul always has that connection. You can never remove that connection. So let's get to why I'm talking about twin flames, whether you believe in them or not, whether you believe that they're good or bad. There seems to be a lot of debate out there about that. And one of the reasons why is people think that twins will ruin you. And it's really just that twins are you. So if you're ruining yourself, then surprise. If you hate yourself, then surprise. It's going to be drama when you meet your twin. So it's one of those things. You got to do your own work, and you got to love yourself deeply, and you have to have a lot of self-respect. And from there, you and your twin can see eye to eye. And that is something a lot of people are terrified to do. And it's amazing to me that people are terrified to fall into self-respect. We all struggle. We all have areas we just don't understand or we just don't connect with. We're all in arcs of learning. We're all in arcs of wisdom. We all have something amazing to share, and we all have something we feel like needs to go. And we actually have the ability to make these decisions, to clear these things, and to be good with ourselves on those things, to look back and see what we've been through and make good plans for where we plan to go. Okay? Why am I going on and on about twin flames? Why twin flames? Why constantly talk about twin flames? Because right now you're supposed to extend yourself to your twin flame. Now you're like, what? Guinevere, how am I supposed to extend myself to my twin flame if I don't even know who my twin flame is? Or what if the person I think is my twin flame isn't even my twin flame? Which is possible, by the way. A lot of you people, you meet one of those really good soulmates and you go, that's my twin. I'm telling you right now, you don't know nothing till you meet your twin. You think you know, and then you meet your twin. And it's not always a walk in the park. So if it's really exciting, probably a really good soulmate. If it's really exciting and like really challenging, probably a twin. But there's shades of gray. There's many, many things to be worked through. So extend yourself to your twin. How do you do this? First off, you have to recognize, again, you and your twin can never be truly separated, okay? Which means if you imagine that there's a perfect heart connection, a heart line that extends from your heart to your twin's heart, wherever your twin happens to be, then that's all you need to focus on. You don't have to focus on whether or not it's the person you think it might be or whether or not you believe it's somebody. You just go, I know that this is something that's undividable. It's a perfect seamless course. I've forgotten it's natural, much like I frequently forget I've got hands, arms, and legs and feet because we use them all the time, but we're not actually sitting there going, hello, hand, how are you doing today? Why, it was a lovely day in the park. Look, you still have all 5 fingers. So we take a lot of things that are natural to us for granted. They're part of our flow. So your twin is part of your flow. So I want you at some point in the coming days or weeks to sit down in a moment of quiet, somewhere beautiful, somewhere that you feel like represents yourself, something that represents self-respect and self-love, because this is really important. You want to be in an environment that reflects something beautiful to you, because that is the way you romance your twin. Your twin and you love the same things, okay? So go somewhere lovely, go somewhere wonderful, surround yourself in roses and flowers. Spritz yourself down with essential oils. Burn your sage. Do whatever is natural for you. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine that nothing can stop the flow of the energy between you and your twin flame. And in that moment, I want you to project so much love to that individual out there. I want you to see them inundated by a golden light around their entire form. I want you to see them from inside out, literally shining like a star. I want you to see yourself blowing them out with golden light, like blowing your love on them to the point where they are literally a sun in the solar system. That's what I want you to do. Sometime today, sometime this week, sometime this month, sometime when you feel like you're in that space and you're ready to sit and be quiet. Yes, you can listen to music. Yes, you can have musical instruments. Yes, you can have art supplies. You can make this into something. You can make it into a project. But the point of you doing it is right now, for some reason, we're being asked to extend to our twins. And that's really cool because this is a global thing. Remember, this is not a me thing or a you thing. This is an energy right now that's present that's asking us to extend our highest love to someone we may or may not ever meet in this lifetime in the physical form, but that will receive that full blast of all you got. Give it all you got. Don't half-ass it. Jump in as if you know your twin flame is standing in front of you in a bikini or in shorts, because whoever they are, they're always going to turn you on. They are exactly what's going to turn you on. So you see them hot and sexy and dripping in front of you, and you lay it on them. Don't you hold back. Don't you play light. Don't you play nice. If the real lover you're looking for is across from you, you go an animal. You understand me? We're not all, ooh, two for two. We're like, take the clothing off. It's getting real. Hair's on fire. Lava's flowing. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? That's twin stuff. Do it. Now, here's the kickback to it, okay? They will experience it. They will feel it. They won't know what hit them. And they will respond in kind because they're very quick. So you will get some sort of rush back. Maybe it will be a little tickle because you've got big old walls. Maybe it will be like so big you're uncomfortable. Or maybe you block it a little bit because you're not sure if you can take it all at once and it comes gently through a dream. Okay? I don't know how your twin is going to kiss you back, but expect some serious kisses in return. Okay? Because you're putting it out there. Now just imagine, because the universe is clever and really, really magical. People think they know magic. Again, it's like they think they know twins. You don't know the half of it. It's bigger than what you can think. It's bigger than your imagination. It's that exciting. It's that big, right? So, this is just beautiful the way these things fall into place. Your twin could be watching this exact video right now, or find it showing up on their wall for no reason. I mean, it's totally public. Like, I put it out there. I tell you guys you can share if you want. You know what I mean? So what if your twin sees this, right? Think about the alchemy there. One, they could be seeing it at the same time as you, because that's how weird the universe is, which means let's pretend, let's just have fun, that somebody shares this like 2 weeks later after I've even posted it, or even a year later after I've posted it, because they think, wow, this is so inspiring. Everybody should send their love to their twins. Woo, right? And they share it and their twin sees it on their Facebook page or their Twitter or something, right? And then it's simultaneous. You and your twin are making a date. Get it? How cool is that? Now, the thing is, I'm not even making it up. I've gotten used to the fact that people frequently brush off beautiful and magical occurrences as coincidence, which I feel like is a very sad thing to do. So please stop doing that. And recognize that this perfect moment that takes place, this perfect serendipity, this perfect synchronicity, it lives and exists in perfect timing with you. There's a rhythm, there's a dance, and there's a music that is taking place. So there you go. There's your exciting part of it. I love that part of what I'm looking at, because that's wonderful to know that we're supposed to be extending our best out there into the world. We're supposed to recognize that that person out there undividedly loving us, part of our very soul purpose, our true fate, is going to respond in kind, and that the chances that they get to see this at the same time and have the same guidance are actually higher than you think. So it's really cool. So thumbs up to magic, okay? Here's where it's also good and gooey, but it's not terribly grounded, so you're going to have to hold on to your horses as best you can. Right now in the physical vibration, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't even know how to say this without laughing. Right now in the physical vibration, physical meaning, how do you ground yourself? You know, practical world stuff. You know, let's get real already. Well, sorry. The way you're supposed to be grounding yourself in this cycle is to become more of a star seed, more of a star channeler, which means less about the earth right now and more about the entire of creation. The starseed energy is the concept of mystical vibrations and evolved extraterrestrial vibrations, and the fact that even stars themselves are ancient consciousnesses, and deciding, hey, you know what? That's what I'm going to channel right now into the physical form. I'm going to get really, really, really spaced, right? But here in the physical form, because I'm thinking if this is what's needed on the group or the whole, and that this is where power is, the planet herself is saying, give me some more stellar energy. which is really, really cool because I believe it's the 21st that we have a meteor shower that's always scheduled for this time of year. So perhaps that's her way of feeling grounded sometimes, is when she sprinkles herself with comet dust and the tales of what once was. Maybe she likes it. Maybe it's glitter for her. All I know is that the energy of it is wanting to get grounded, right? So if the energy of it wants to get grounded, you're supposed to be more extraterrestrial at this time in the way you physically see the world, which means get profound, get into your quantum physics, get into your practicing something mystical and mixing it with the worldly things like the pagans do, like the Wiccans do. You know, water, earth, air, fire, all these elements, they belong to the stars and the planet alike, right? But if you channel the concept of it being star stuff in your actual magical works right now, it actually has a higher vibration. So you can actually bring better works into the world. You can bring higher vibration. Every single time you hear somebody say higher vibration, what they're saying is a wiser path. What they're saying is there's a gentler, easier way to get everything handled and done. Okay? Like, for real. We know how to help you with that one. It seems like that's a real struggle. So let me go right there. In our power right now, we're supposed to remain gentle with our challenges. And we're really shaky on being gentle. Y'all know I'm telling the truth right now. Okay? Y'all know that, like, bully consciousness is huge. And it's almost impossible to get something truly productive done when everybody is constantly trying to find something to pick on another person for. We need to recognize that as we raise our own value and treat people better, that's the way to create the change. You don't drop yourself down to a cruel place and expect people to learn wisdom. You just teach them how to defend themselves better. So there's this intense energy, and it's double-fold. Okay, one is we're supposed to be gentle with our challenges. And two, we're supposed to look our actual fears in the eye without panicking. Oh, and but while I'm thinking about it, if you guys noticed in my videos, I frequently have the sniffles. I have the sniffles because I don't know which brand of makeup I have that gives me a allergic response. So I'm still experimenting. And every now and then I don't have the sniffles, so I know that something I used today was not good for me. No happies. Anyway, now back to what I was saying. Gentleness and literally examining what you're afraid of. Okay, people respond from their fears a lot of the times, right? Fight or flight, right? So if they're in flight, you're not even gonna know that they were scared. They're just gonna go disappearing on you, right? So they felt threatened, they felt misunderstood, they felt like they couldn't make the connection, and they ran, right? So they didn't even examine what the fear was, they just disappeared. And then of course, fight. I'm scared. What if this person's right? What if I'm right and they're wrong? What if the world's going crazy? What if I can't change it? Now I have to be afraid and I'm going to fight this person. I'm going to fight them because this is life or death, right? So we have to actually look at our fears and then assess how we can create solutions rather than the fight or flight response. And there's a third response, freeze, right? Fight, flight, freeze. But we don't have to go straight to that level of our energy. We can use some crazy logic and recognize that by looking at things as they are or as they have been, it's not going to solve problems. We have to actually think outside of the box. We have to get beyond the box. The box doesn't work. It's kind of like you keep trying to make your house out of a soggy cardboard box. And it's like, why won't this soggy cardboard box become a house? Well, because you haven't let the soggy cardboard box go and switch to wood. You're holding on to what's no longer working, trying to force it into working instead of trying something fresh. So now is the time of freshness. And you're actually seeing this too. You're seeing people coming out of a lot of hardships right now by thinking fresh, by trying to come up finally with things that are solutions. Like when you think about hemp wood, right? So that's somebody responding to deforestation. They're responding to the situations with packaging, what they're like, well, what if we make hemp plastic and hempcrete and hemp wood? Wouldn't we be able to save the environment? Things still can break down. So you see invention coming out of what is challenging or causes people to feel fearful. I love what I'm seeing with the people who've decided to switch from plastic straws to steel straws or glass straws or paper straws. Oh, bamboo straws, you know, it's just really cool because people are awakening in new ways. They're facing the fear, right? The fear is, oh my God, we're just going to destroy the planet with all this plastic, or oh my God, we're going to destroy a sea turtle with straw if it snows. So we have the ability constantly to think outside of the box, constantly to start something new. The one thing that is constant, straight across the board, if you want to bother with your human history, is everything's in flux. Everything's always in change. So when somebody goes, it's never going to change, it's the biggest, flattest lie you'll ever hear. Everything's always changing. The world I live in does not reflect the world I lived in 10 years ago, or 10 years before that, or 10 years before that. So I look back and I remember, for instance, all the springs and water pumps you would see as you crossed country. And I look back and I remember all the open fields full of blackberries and raspberries, and people just free range eating off of the trees without somebody coming down on them like 1,000 bricks. So it's constantly changing, not always for the better, which is why we're supposed to face our fears. We're supposed to get deep with this. And then instead of getting in that bully place, that fight place, we have to go gently toward a goal. We have to gather that higher vibrational way of leading and lead the way with a smile instead of a frown. That's work, people. You're gonna have to work. Okay, which brings me with what's going on in the mind. The mind is in a really great place right now if you want to stay in student mind, because we're supposed to open ourselves to learn better ways of being, better ways of behaving, better ways of processing as we move forward with private, with professional, and so on, okay? Since we're in this place where we're supposed to be of student mind, I encourage you to study something. I encourage you to start something you haven't tried. I encourage you to learn a language. I encourage you to learn a culture. I encourage you to have a deeper understanding of things that you missed out on or that you realized that you didn't know anything about. If it intrigues you, study it. Somebody's got to know. The more people who study and know something that's interesting to them, the more you care about something, the more attention that something will get. I was watching one of those YouTube videos of the Lion Whisperer, and I got really curious about hyenas, and I was like, well, he would know about hyenas. And he was in the middle of talking about hyenas, and then he was in the middle of talking about bringing them into the forefront, or talking about them in the forefront to remove the stigma that they're just horrible, right? So he's like, if people love something or care about something, then they will protect that something. And I was like, wow, yes, okay, that. Okay? So you want to think in these ways with that whole, you learned something, you got excited about what you're passionate about, now you know about what you're passionate about, now you have an investment in it, then you can be part of what makes the world better. Yes, you as well. Just doing what you truly want to do in life can plant trees and save hyenas if that's what you want to do. And there's a different thing for each person. So blend and let people be what they are, and don't try and make them what you are, because we need more people to individuate and also collect in a good way. Connect was smashing in my head, so excuse that moment. So it's kind of like that whole, hey, be kind, focus on what needs to be an advocate for what needs to be. Start with yourself first, because you're the answer. I'm going to say that again because I'm sure somebody out there is thinking, no, you're the answer? Like, if you don't dive deep, that thing that's missing, you know how you feel like there's something missing? Well, it's you. That's what's missing. You're not adding your flavor. You're not making that special pie that you think, you know what, pie really isn't that interesting to me. I should totally make a special pie. You realize that somebody out there is going to have their entire day made by a pie? For real? They'll be like, I can't go on. This pie is amazing. I have something to live for. So I don't care if you bake pies. Just freaking love yourselves. Get yourselves out there. Okay, shadow. And I think it's interesting that this is in our shadow. This is a shadow to be faced. So remember, you're supposed to face what scares you without being aggressive or bully-ish. In your shadow, the shadow is Thanksgiving, which I think is very interesting. I always find it interesting when these things come up. We know that it's right around the corner. And everybody here who's ever had a really nightmarish Thanksgiving with their parents understands that shadow, okay? And it's interesting because it was something that was brought up recently, where I was seeing Thanksgiving literally used as the example of how you have to get along with your family. Some of you people probably already know who I'm referencing, but he literally said, Mr. M said, you still have Thanksgiving with people you hate, but you behaved yourself at that table. Thank you, Bill. It was very well said. And I thought it was interesting that it came up literally in the reading as the shadow. So you have to find within yourselves this area where you're going to be thankful for what you do have for real. Be thankful for whatever you do have, because Somebody out there needs what you have and does not have it. So be thankful. If it's your health, if it's really good friends, if it's clean water, be thankful. You know, be in a moment where you're grateful for what you do have. And then be grateful, if you're free, and I hope you are, that you're able to do, to some degree, your own self in the world, whether it's because you're a goth kid and nobody's, you know, they're giving you hell, but nobody's making you take off your goth outfits or your makeup. You're still wandering the street, you know, whatever it happens to be. However you happen to be, where the people at the Thanksgiving table want to shun you, but you still get to be that. So nobody likes the fact that you're the one at the table who's got, you know, 3 boyfriends. You're still at the table, you know, enjoy your tofurkey if that's what you're having. So, you know, work on thankfulness, work on gratefulness, and work on recognizing the shadow. It's also still attached to our fear of not being provided for or accepted. But part of being provided for and accepted is providing for yourself and accepting yourself and wearing it with love instead of wearing it in an aggression or an act of aggression. So do your best out there, try and face it. And then, of course, there's the overlying shadow of the Thanksgiving, which, of course, is that the concept, the magic, and the ceremony of the giveaway is a First Nations, Native American tradition. It's not done once a year, just once. We're going to be grateful and give to friends and family. It's done potlatch style pretty fairly regularly, where they gather during powwows and ceremonies and they share abundance. They share with each other abundantly, the cornucopia. So that's the real transformational beauty of being of service, giving, and sharing what you have, whatever you have, and sharing it with joy, and knowing that someone is now grateful and you're also now grateful because you needed a blanket and they needed corn, and everybody is warm and everybody is fed, right? And of course, we know that that shadow overlaying that is that the breaking of treaties or these horrible harms placed on them, and how I could go on and on about the politically totally incorrect thing about the stories around Thanksgiving that are told. But the truth is, there's a beautiful lesson in being grateful and the potlatch and Thanksgiving itself, its actual ceremony, which is a beautiful thing. And then there's this energy that needs to be healed, and we need to be grateful that we're here to be able to heal it. So focus some attention this year in giving back to the land around you and the indigenous people who are here first. Be grateful that we get to be here and happy, hopefully, and perhaps part of a great solution that will connect and create community that is loving and tender. And that's what we need to be more of, and we need to be more generous. So work on those things, and that will be it. Now, in future oracles, I will be going standby of taking a question at the end. Question, but since I've just come back and it's been a rough time and I'm just doing the best I can, I'm gonna take it easy on myself. This is part of that whole being gentle. And I brought you your oracle. Do your work. Be loving to each other. This is an actual thing you need to get good at. And I love you guys. Bye-bye.